I already know where you're going with this one.
Did you read my notes, or you just already know?
No, I just know you.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to a video where we're doing something that we haven't really done before. I've already forgot my line. My name is Marcus, or better known as Trollisms, and this is my good friend Stuart, or better known as Control D Killer. What Controlled Killer?
Controlled killer.
Controlled Killer.
Did you do that on purpose?
No, I actually didn't know.
Fuck
I looked at it on Steam the other day. I was like, is it meant to be Control D Killer?
You're my worst friend.
If you press Control D, you've bookmarked this video, by the way. So thanks for that. Over the past 2 weeks, we've been compiling a playlist of songs and remixes for those songs, and today we're going to be pitting them up against each other to see which song is the better song. Now, in the event that we cannot come to a conclusion, we have enlisted the help of our friends and the community of EHSB to tiebreak for us, just in case. If you'd like to listen along, the full playlist will be down in the description below. If you find yourself enjoying this video, please leave a like. If you want to dunk on our L takes here, then please leave a comment, and if you're new here, please consider subscribing so we don't have to get real jobs.
Can I leave my real job?
Yeah, I want to leave my real job.
I'm going to start with a disclaimer in that I do not write, record, produce, or do anything with music. I have no
That's
musical...
a bit of a lie, though.
Shut up. I have no musical expertise or knowledge. I'm going to say things that don't make sense to anyone that knows anything about music. I'm sorry. I apologize.
It's worth noting that, like, when songs are made, then the original artists are doing a lot of the hard work here, and we're just deciding which ones are our favourite songs, and unless the songs are really shit, we're probably not going to dunk on them too hard.
At the end of the day, the remix wouldn't exist without the original, but we still need to take them both as if they were their own song.
We're going to try.
We're going to try. We're going to fail. Let's do this.
Alright, so first up we have Crave You by Flight Facilities.
I hadn't actually heard this original ever before this.
Are you serious?
Serious. I had only ever heard the OG. I say the OG, it's not the OG. It's OG to me because I was young when I heard the remix, but I hadn't heard the original.
This song was pretty big in Australia. I think the remix got like broader appeal, mainly because Flight Facilities they are Australian. And it made number 39 on the hottest 100 of the decade. This song.
Oh shit!
And not the remix, even though they were both in contention.
Yeah, right.
Which was kind of crazy.
That is crazy.
This is a song that I call. I've got a category. It's called Pandora Core. Which, if you don't know, there's Pandora Radio, and
there was.
Oh, is it dead now?
I don't know. Well, it's dead to the world.
Even
if the servers are still up, no one uses it.
So Pandora was pretty big back in the day, and it was like Spotify, but you couldn't choose what songs you wanted to listen to. You chose like a genre, and I think that's why there's a lot of songs on here that are popular for the time, is because they were all kind of in the same genre. That's how it got really popular.
Yeah, 100%. It was Spotify Radio before Spotify Radio was a thing. And that was kind of their whole thing.
But with more limitations, I guess.
Yeah, it was pretty limited, and they didn't have the big coverage of artists and songs that you see on Spotify today. It was a lot smaller. Streaming was new.
Yeah.
People were still, I don't know, downloading.
So, what do you think of the song, by the way?
Oh, we're talking about the song.
As well.
Yeah, to me, I actually really enjoyed this because there was some lyrics in here that I thought were really good, and they were cut from the remix. So it was nice to hear those.
Yeah.
Right near the end, there's a little sax solo, which I thought was really cool, and I wish that was in the remix. It didn't might not have quite fit, but they could have made it fit if they tried.
I'll listen to the remix and probably see why it's not in there.
For me, this song just had really chill, like, afternoon at a festival. You know you're gonna have a big night, but you're just warming yourself up to a big night, and you just. The vibes are good. The sun's setting, everyone's chilling out. I thought this was really good.
Yeah, I'm much the same. I think it's a very good chill song.
Nice.
I've got in my notes, the song is chill.
Let's go down nostalgia lane and hear the remix.
Good.
It is really good, and it has aged better than I thought it would. A lot of songs from this era are just now overkill and just hurt your ears.
Yeah.
This still works.
Yeah, no, I really like the remix of this. It's very creative how they reused the vocals from the original and made it into this absolute dubstep powerhouse of a song.
Definitely a banger of the time. To me, a lot of this, like, it's weird hearing this now because it feels dated. Even though it still survived, it still feels dated. But when we were hearing this for the first time, it sounded like space. Like it was dubstep was sci-fi level shit.
All right, so if you were to choose, which way are you going to go?
I have to go with the remix. And it's bad because it feels like it's mostly nostalgia weighing my vote, but this is just one of those songs that I've heard so many times I couldn't go against it. And I really liked the original, and I'm glad that I got to hear it. And there had some bits in it that I was like, yeah, that's awesome, but the nostalgia of the remix just takes it. I'm
gonna have to agree with you, I think. I'm gonna go with the remix. Honestly, it's very close though for me. Like it's so close.
Absolutely.
I think I'm gonna find myself more likely to listen to the original, but I think I enjoy when I listen to the Adventure Club remix. I enjoy it a lot more. Special occasion type deal.
Special occasion.
But yeah, I'm gonna go with the remix on this one. I think it's fantastic.
We agreed.
Yeah.
Crazy.
We start off agreeing.
Onto some Gunship.
I bought my Gunship jacket. I'm not even wearing it.
Idiot.
Absolutely.
You have to wear it backwards though. The logo's on the back.
Yeah, the logo would be backwards.
It's so good. So good. Fuck.
I would say this is probably Gunship's best song. Not their most popular, but I would wager this is their best.
It's one of their most popular, isn't it? I think it's got one of the most streams on their whole discography.
Life Your Life would probably be their big one.
Yeah.
Look, I'm a huge Gunship fan. I love everything about this song, like the John Carpenter intro is really cool.
The intro is so good.
It's got a dark and brooding kind of tone, and I just love the progression of the song.
For me, this one, the intro sets the mood so well. Like you really just get transported to this world, and I think it's great. The song progressed really well. It didn't get repetitive, it didn't get boring, it slowly progressed. It was highs and lows, and it was just great. Just really, really fucking good song.
Let's see how the remix goes.
See what Carpenter can make of it. I really want to know how you go on this one. I feel like this is the hardest choice for you.
This is probably going to be the hardest one. This is definitely going to be the hardest choice for me, because depending on the day and the mood, I could pick either of these and I'd be happy.
Have you made a decision today?
No. I have been stressing over this one for so long. Honestly, the synth bridge in this, in the remix, the synth bridge is just so good. The overall energy of the song is just through the roof. It's insane.
It is great, and I think the remix definitely brings it up a level in just excitement, maybe is the word.
Yeah.
But for me personally, the original is better.
Okay.
And I would say that quite wholeheartedly.
I think the original does a better job of telling kind of a story and transporting the tone, but the remix is just so hype. It is kind of unreal. Look, I don't know which way I want to go on this one. I'm on the fence.
I think just the storytelling of it, it's an emotional adventure from start to finish. Whereas the remix for me was a really, really good song and a really, really good remix, but it did not take me to the same place that the original did.
But I do... it's so hard. No, I think I have to go with the original. I do love, everything about it. I'd like to see I want to see how they voted, actually. Just for curiosity's sakes, how did they vote? In favour of the remix.
In favour of the remix.
What do we got next? The Ghost and Stuff by Dead and
Oh, God. Yeah. This one, Dead
I think we've heard this one a million times, though. It's a pretty good song.
for me, this is a massive song. This is one of those songs that I have listened to who knows how many times, thousands.
Yeah.
Deadmau5 was one of those guys that I just listened to on repeat in my young years.
Did you ever used to call it Deadmau5 5?
No, I didn't. I'm not a fucking pleb. I did not call it Deadmau5 5.
Oh no.
I did. I just call it Deadmau5.
I was well. Look, when you look at the name and you see Deadmau and 5, it's not a bad name, but Deadmau5.
He's got a mouse
I've
head.
never never saw it.
He's got
written.
a fucking mouse on his head.
I never saw it. Like, never heard anyone say it.
So,
Until I said it out loud in front of someone and had a very similar reaction to that. Getting to the song though, yeah, Rob Swire's vocals are very good. If you don't know, he's the lead man from Pendulum. The song's too long though.
the song's too long.
There is a radio edit of this song, but we're doing all originals throughout the entire thing, and no, this song doesn't really justify the length.
Ooh, see, I actually argue almost directly against that.
Really?
I think Deadmau5 has a very niche skill in that he can have songs be very repetitive and samey and yet still be good. Because most songs, if they repeat as much as any of his music does, it would be shit. Somehow he pulls it off, and I don't know how.
Okay.
And I think for this song, it progressed fine. 5.5 minutes. I feel like you got everything you wanted out of it.
Some people, like, you know, back when bootleg music was a thing, people had the version of this that didn't have the vocals in it and call it the original, which I don't think is right.
Mm-hmm.
But was the 5-minute version long of this, but it's just without the vocals, and no, that's even worse.
Oh, I could absolutely agree. It needs the vocals to help break it up and add an extra layer, 100%. Something that I never had noticed previously, or I'd never taken note of, is how much he uses the sound stage in this song. He's got stuff coming from the left, stuff coming from the right, stuff coming from in front, stuff coming from behind. It's very well produced. I think that really comes through, especially when you listen to headphones. You're not going to pick it up the same in speakers, and if you listen to this at a party or something, you're not going to notice. But if you chill out and sit there with your headphones and listen to it, you should pick up that the soundstage is really there, and it definitely adds another layer to the song.
All right, cool. Want to head on over to the remix and see.
Let's see what Nero does.
Look, the bass is really good. It's very heavy. It's just way too long. It's very repetitive, and I feel like I've already tipped my hat here. I don't like it as much as the original.
Yep, I'm going to agree with you. I think instantly when this song starts and those strings come in, it's like, oh, it's Nero.
Yeah.
They just have that sound. And I could see where they were going with this, but it just doesn't land. It doesn't hit
as hard as it thinks it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also extremely repetitive. For some reason, he decided to make this song longer.
Yeah, it's another minute and a half, and it's got less in it.
Yes, 100%.
So it's hard. It's way harder to listen to. Although it's like pretty bassy, it's nice, but it's not.
Yeah,
it's not there.
It definitely punches a little bit harder, but there's just not that emotion that there is in the original. We agree?
We agree, again.
So Deadmau5 5 takes this one.
Deadmau5 5 takes this one. If someone says that, you immediately know they don't know enough about it. Alright, next up we have Phoenix, which was produced by League of Legends. So are you gonna die today? Make it out alive.
I'm keen to hear your opinion on this one.
I really like this song. So this song was produced for the 2019 League of Legends Worlds. I love the cinematic feel of this. League of Legends, the crew at League of Legends, they produce fantastic music. It is absolutely unreal. They put more effort into everything else except for the fucking video game. Yeah, the production is very clean on this, and the duet of Kaylin and Chrissy, that works so well together.
It feels so large in scale. It feels epic. It feels like what a world's opening ceremony song needs to feel.
And it was pretty epic when they played it at the ceremony itself.
Absolutely, yeah. The only thing I would maybe put against it, and this is arguable, it's just a League of Legends song. It sounds, you can tell who made it, you can tell what it was made for.
Yeah.
it's very down their alley. Like they've just gone straight and narrow where they need to go, and they've aced it.
Yeah.
But if you don't like League of Legends music,
Yeah.
you're not going to like this.
Do you think this is just mostly for League of Legends fans and people who watch Worlds?
I think so. I mean, there's people that don't play League of Legends or don't even know what it is that are going to like this song. But if you're someone who has listened to other music produced by League of Legends, don't necessarily like it, you're not going to like this, because it is the same thing again. Just it's that same formula.
Yeah. I get you.
Yeah.
And yeah, I this is probably one of my favorite League of Legends like songs. And there's arguably "Burn It Down," which is also really cool. I'd say that song is probably a bit more approachable.
Yeah. The only thing I have to mention is, listening to this, all I could think of was this is Solnix's theme song. For anyone that knows him, they'll know that he played a lot of League of Legends, was very successful, and this song is called Phoenix. As much as it's a good song, I could not just see his face was burned into me while I was
you see the word Phoenix.
Yeah,
it's just
every time the chorus comes on.
He needs to change his name back. Sully.
Yeah, your name's shit. Go back to Phoenix.
Alright, let's give the remix another shot. Carpenter Brut again.
His second showing.
Carpenter
Brut? I think it's Brut. Brut.
Well, it's definitely a Carpenter Brut song.
Yeah.
So with this, he pretty much just did his thing. Didn't change up the song that much. He just put his dirty ass synth into it. Called it a day. But that synth bridge towards the end, it's so cool.
He raw dogged it with his synth dick.
And yeah, I do like the kind of dark synth, horror kind of feel.
For me, this is the song I would listen to. Out of the two, if I had one on my playlist, it would be this one. I think it just fits the type of music I like to listen to more. I don't necessarily think it's better produced or it's better anything. I just think it's the tone of the song is more what I would listen to day to day. And for that reason, I like it more.
I'm going to go with the original.
Oh!
I know, I'm doing my boy Carpenter Brut really, really dirty because I really love his music. But I kind of set him up for failure here.
Wow.
Going into this, when I was making the playlist, I was going to go that way. And I really had to listen to the original to, give it its due, and I just enjoyed it more.
Ooh.
And look, Carpenter Brut does a good job, and if I could take that synth bridge and put it into the first song, it'd be perfect. But he doesn't do enough differently before that point.
I was surprised how well the lyrics fit into the remix. Tone is completely different, and yet the vocals still sound really good.
Alright, well, so we're tied.
Tiebreaker.
First tiebreaker, so let's see what the community says.
Oh shit. Here we go.
Phoenix. So we are 100% to 0. They are on my side. The original wins out.
You're all a bunch of fucking nerds. Fine, I'll take the L on this.
You're gonna have to take the L on that one. Good job, boys. I love your work. So next up we have Cinema by Benassi.
And Gary Go.
And Gary... Is it Gary Go or Gary Co? That's Gary Go. Somehow Mandela affected myself. I always thought it was Gary Co. Anyway. This is another one of those Pandora core songs. Those are the ones that you just hear over and over and over and over again on Pandora, and I definitely did as well. Yeah, the song is really short, but it's also just really solid. Like, the vocals and the chorus are obviously just iconic.
Absolutely. I think everyone has heard this song. I don't know how you could get through life without hearing this song. Which doesn't mean it's bad. It is actually really, really, really fucking good.
Yeah. I would say it's probably a bit more on the bland side. Even though it is iconic, I think overall as a package it might be a little bit... I don't want to say bland because it sounds too horrible, but it's kind of what I feel. Maybe it's because I've heard the song a million times though.
Yeah.
Like, 100%. Despite me really liking this song, it doesn't go on any of my playlists ever.
No, and it's not a song that I listen to today, but it's a song that I've listened to a lot in the past. I think it's a really, really solid track, but it has just been played that many times by every man and their dog. Let's see what Skrillex does with it.
Oh, you're not enjoying yourself.
No.
I'm very much with you there. Like, the electronic parts of this song, fantastic. The dubstep. As I've gotten older, dubstep just sounds like the dial-up tone to me now.
This is one of those songs, again, that I listened to 1,000,001 times when I was younger, and where everyone thought Skrillex was just the bee's tits. He was just, how does he do it? What is it? What are these sounds? I've never heard this before. But unlike the Crave Adventure Club remix, which is from the same era, this has not aged well.
Like, this era of Skrillex, like Scary Monsters and Nice Surprise, this is pretty close to that era. A lot of those dubstep songs are just the same progression. And if you go back and listen to the Scary Monsters and Nice Surprise, the EP, it's not good. It's really not good. I remember thinking it was the tits, but I fucking hate it now and I can't stand it.
Like Deadmau5, like a lot of things, it was sort of an introduction to electronic music when I was really starting to get into music. And at the time I thought, this is sick, and this is, so cool. And it did sound like it was very bass heavy, which was not as popular at the time with mainstream stuff. But it has not aged.
And yeah, it is very formulaic, and this is a part of that, formula. He did perfect the formula, like, was it Bangarang? Probably my favorite song of his, and that uses this kind of formula, but that's when he kind of perfected it.
Yeah.
But that's also when I also caught on to how his songs are. But yeah, the dubstep just fucking kills it. I reckon Skrillex would be a really good EDM producer. Like, if you listen to like the core, not the chorus.
Have you been listening to any of the stuff he's been releasing in the last 5 years?
No, I don't care anymore.
It's really good.
Oh.
He makes really good music today.
Okay.
He has released some really good music in the last 5 years, and I think he's really come into his own. This was the start of him, and this is what brought him to the mainstream and made him popular. People know who he is. People like the mop meme with the fucking hair. Like, people.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone knows who Skrillex
Yeah.
is. And it was because of this music that he made, and it was, at the time, it was fresh and new and different, and people hadn't heard it.
So the original?
The original, 100%. The original.
Oh, wow. We're agreeing a lot more than I thought we would. All right, so next up we have The Man by The Killers.
The Man. You like it?
I like it. I don't think it's anywhere near The Killers' best song. They've got Mr. Brightside, Somebody Told Me, that other one where it's like he doesn't look a thing like Jesus. It's a catchy pop beat, and I think that's all it's going for. That weird drop that happens near the end of the song, I hate it, but that's about it. It sounds like a production error.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, see?
That also caught me off guard, yes.
I think it's intentional, but it just sounds like a production error. And everybody I've heard who's listened to this is like, was that a mistake?
Yeah.
And for people who aren't into heavily into music and whatever, if they're asking you if it's a mistake, then it's bad.
It's bad. It feels like someone has leant on the sliders.
Yeah.
Or moved the wrong slider down.
Yeah.
And then like, oh shit, and moved it back up. This is one I hadn't heard by The Killers.
Really?
It's not one of their most popular songs, and that's probably why I hadn't heard it.
Probably the most popular from this album, but yeah, I don't think overall it was very popular.
I really liked how funky it was. I thought it made me want to move a little bit. I liked that. But it got repetitive after the first maybe minute and a half.
Yeah.
The lyrics started to repeat.
They're a bit cringe.
Yeah, they are.
I think that's intentional though.
I think that they were going for something, and I think the lyrics would fit if they only had them repeat maybe once, or they just, had
You reckon do the chorus twice, maybe at most?
Yeah, maybe at most, and then have it more focused on the music and less on the lyrics. It might have worked, but for me, it just gets a bit repetitive. Definitely not one of their better songs.
All right. Remix?
Let's see what Jacques Le Cont can do.
It's probably like Jacques Le Cont, I'd say.
That's what I said. These are not two songs that I expected you to put in this list.
Okay.
They just don't quite hit the spot for me. The original or the remix.
Oh, both. I'm a fan of both.
Mm.
So, I discovered this song from one of the Forza Horizon games. That's the only reason I know about this remix.
You remember which one?
The one where you're in England, so...
3. 4? 4. Yes, 3 was Australia, 4 was England.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think so.
Look, it's good. I'm not a fan of the distorted vocals in the song. They go a bit too hard on that, but the progression of the song is a lot more fun, I feel like.
Of the two, this is the one I would listen to. It just had a bit more mood for me that I sort of followed, but kind of got to the end and thought, eh.
I'm much the same. I don't think it quite gels with me. The only thing I can say is the progression is a lot more fun, but I don't like the distorted vocals. I feel like I want to say janky because it's by design how it is, but it's a bit feels a bit janky and I can't really get into it. The original is obviously just like a lot more cleaner and I feel like it's easier to listen to.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with the original.
The original, it's not the sort of music I listen to often, but if I was in that funky mood, it would work for me.
Yeah.
The remix, I'd put it on to play in the background, but I wouldn't actively listen to it. So I think I'm going to go with the original. I think I would put the original on to actually listen to the funkiness of it.
Okay.
But the remix, if it showed up, I'm not going to skip it, but I'm not going to put it.
All right, well, look at you, Killers. You made it.
You are the man.
You are the man. All right, well, next up we have Knife Party by Deftones versus the Purity Ring remix.
You're not impressed.
I fucking hate this song.
Oh, shit.
I really, really did not like this. I think it is... I don't want to be too mean, but I'm going to be mean.
Go for it.
I think it's mediocre from start to finish, and it really falls apart at the end when there's screaming involved, and I just fucking turned it off. Each time I listened to it, I was like, it's background music, then screaming stuff. Like, what the fuck is this? And I just stopped it. The screaming at the end is so obnoxious, I just cannot fucking stand it. I don't like the lyrics. I think the instrumentation is...
Oh...
It does not gel with me one bit. I'm sorry.
That's perfectly okay. This is where we're going to fight.
Alright.
This is... amazing to me. This is so good. I could listen to this, and I have listened to this a lot, and I could listen to this any day and enjoy it.
So what about it, do you like? Just trying to see someone else's perspective here.
The atmosphere, for me. Deftones just have... It's sad boy music. I don't know.
I think my sad boy music differs from what your sad boy music is.
Yeah, maybe.
Mine sad boy music usually has a lot of piano and...
The whole White Pony album to me is just fucking tops. I love Deftones. I love this album. I really like this song. It's not my favourite song of the album, but it is a really, really good song, and I could listen to it any day and really enjoy it. Again, I'm not a music person. I don't know how to describe what it does to me, but the feels I get from this are just really, really strong.
Yeah, so just take everything that you said and then make it the opposite, and then that's me.
Yeah. Check out what Purity Ring can do.
Oh my god, the lyrics. I was listening to this on the way to work earlier this morning, and when it's we were all anemic. What the fuck? Look, I like the atmosphere of this one, at the very least. I still hate the lyrics, but I like how the atmosphere and of the song is. I like the general vibes, I guess. Still not something I'd probably listen to much, just because I really don't like the lyrics.
I am both fortunate and unfortunate in that I do not really hear lyrics very well. Unless I'm reading the lyrics along with the song, I have no idea what the song's about. It's just another instrument to me. In that way, couldn't tell you what the song's about. Don't know. No idea. But the mood's there. This one was really interesting when it came out. If you'd asked me to predict what Purity Ring would remix, there was no way I would ever have chosen Deftones.
And I can imagine that's not a very easy song to remix, but I guess it doesn't really take much from the original song, except for the vocals mostly, and a bit of the chord progression and the backing vocals. Which are those backing vocals in the original song? I can't remember. The chick's backing vocals?
No, I don't believe so, but I could be wrong.
Oh.
Yeah, here's the guy that said he's listened to this song. I can't remember.
It doesn't feel the overall. This song isn't as grating to me, and that's the main thing.
That's good. Purity Ring is another one of those artists that I was really into for a period of time. Probably less so now, but I think this is a really, really good remix. I was surprised how much I liked it, especially considering how much I love the original.
Yeah.
I'm sad you don't like it as much, but I understand. I have to go with the original.
All right, so we're leaving it up to the community on this one. Let's see what they have said. And it is 30% to 70% with the remix in favour. If you want...
Understandable. I think the remix won because it's a more consumable.
Yeah, I would say so.
They did a wicked job. It's not something I ever expected Purity Ring to have a stab at.
Good one. Yeah, I got it. I got it.
And I think they did really well, but the original's just so good.
All right. So next up we have Spectrum by Florence and the Machine. It's great. It's pretty fantastic. I understand if you're not a fan of like the kind of orchestral like sound of the entire thing, and this is why. And I'm going to tip my hat very, very early here because everyone knows it's going to be the remix by a mile. But it is still a very, very, very good song and very well made. And Florence Welch's performance is just fucking phenomenal.
Oh, it is. Listening to this and. This is another one where I hadn't really sat down and listened to it before.
Yeah.
I'd heard it. It was on the radio. Florence and the Machine's huge here. Like, everyone knows Florence and the Machine.
Oh, they're probably one of the... Well, especially of the decade, they're definitely the biggest indie rock artist.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I hadn't ever taken the time to sit down and properly listen to it, but I was in awe. Her voice is just impeccable. It is insane. I was absolutely blown away listening to this, especially in headphones, properly getting into it.
Absolutely, just fantastically produced sound all over.
So good. And just so much presence. Absolutely killer.
Yeah. In
saying that, I don't really listen to indie rock. It's not really my thing. It's not what I would choose to put on when I'm going through my day. So...
But the fact that you like that so much, even though you don't really like it, that's pretty like a testament to like the quality of the song.
Absolutely.
All right, let's take a look at the remix. So this is what you get when you mix the best indie rock artist of the decade with the best EDM producer of the decade, and he smashed them together.
Big call.
Calvin Harris you might not like his music, but he makes bangers all the time.
Oh, absolutely.
And this is certainly one of them. And look, not to take anything away from the original because it's fantastic in its own right. This just is so much better, I feel like. And taking like the backing vocals out and just letting Florence's voice shine by itself is just an absolutely fantastic idea and helps just absolutely sell the song.
I think for me, as someone who listens to a lot more electronic music than rock music, this was just the best of both worlds. It was
absolutely
all of the vocals that were just crisp, perfect, mixed in with a beat that just you could feel. It really got you moving, and that's just what Calvin Harris does.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing. He's been doing it forever.
Another Pandora Core song, but like, you hear this a million times, but I'm not sick of this one.
I realised that this isn't on any of my playlists, and I'm really fucking upset about that.
As much as I love the original, it was never really a contest. It's sad to say.
I think that just comes down to sort of music we're into.
This one is like 3 times as popular as the original song, though, which is interesting. But like, it does speak to how absolutely of a banger it is. Just
knocked it out of the park. Just really, really aced it.
All right, next up we have This Boy's in Love by the Presets versus the Lifelike remix. Presets.
The preset. My notes was just
album,
the presets.
Like, this is a good song, but this album fucking rules. Have you ever seen them live?
I feel like I have, but I'm not 100% sure.
I'm not a fan of the Presets' newer stuff, but this song is very great, and I've seen them play this live, and it was fan-fucking-tastic. It was like, felt like almost studio quality out there, which isn't to say they're miming, because they weren't. Look, this song is great, and it has aged a lot better than most things from like this time. Like a lot of electronic music from this time just kind of like downgraded because like the production just wasn't quite there. But yeah, this
This
song,
does.
everything from Apocalypso is pretty good.
Mm.
Bar maybe a couple of songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, this is just... I've got a lot of nostalgia for this song.
This is another one that I haven't necessarily listened to a lot of, but instantly the presets, they're so good. They're so good at what they do. They've been doing it a long time. I would say a lot of their music is maybe a little bit samey. They've definitely got a flavour.
They stick to their wheelhouse.
Yeah, absolutely. And they definitely did well with this one.
So let's take a look at the Lifelike remix and see how it holds up.
It's good. I liked the additions and changes they made.
Yeah. One of the things I like is the like really cleaned up vocals, and it really like makes it stand out. So it is 6.5, 7 minutes long. Oh my god, it doesn't really need to be like that.
I can't think of many songs where the remix should be longer than the original. And this is another one of those examples. It just kind of drags its feet a little bit. It's a really, really good song, and I think what they added to it, it was well done. But the presets is the presets for me, man. Like,
yeah, I think the original is just a better package overall. I really like this remix, and I think it is like, it's very easy to listen to. Like, it is on a couple of my playlists where it's like just kind of background music.
yeah.
And it works very well. One time my dad was coming back from Melbourne on a flight, and he found this iPod Touch in the seat, like in the front seat pocket in front of him. Nobody else was sitting in his row, so it must have been from a previous flight or whatever. And he just took it. He took it home with him.
Your dad's a fucking thief.
And on the iPod Touch was just like a lot of DJ remixes, a lot of Tiesto, funnily enough. But a lot of like weird remixes. Probably it was a DJ, I reckon, who had them, because there was a lot of like long remixes and just like weird shit that was barely listenable to. But this song was on there, and that's how I found the Lifelike remix.
Also, iPod Touches was such a weird thing to me. Like,
yeah, it's like the iPhone without the phone.
Yeah, and
Why bother?
Well, there was such a weird period where some people had phones with keypads, some people had touch phones, but the touch was shit.
I had a phone with a keypad and the iPod Touch.
Yeah.
So like, what the?
It was a weird time.
I mean, iPod Touches were like $200 to $300 cheaper than the phones. So.
Yeah, 100%. There was a reason people didn't buy iPhones, because they were so fucking ridiculously expensive.
Next up, we have The Thrill by Nero, who's back on the playlist, versus the Porter Robinson remix.
This time it's an original by Nero.
Look, it's a pretty standard electronic pop song. All the instrumentation, production sounds pretty good. My biggest gripe with the song is there's not much range in the lyrics, and the performance is, I wouldn't say bland, but it just isn't. Yeah. There's not much in it, to be honest.
This is another nostalgia hit for me. Between Two Worlds, the album, is an album that I listen to back to back. Many times, and really enjoyed it from a particular point in my life as well that I have fond memories of. So I like this song a lot. I like Nero a lot. It's gonna be hard to beat for me. It's not my favorite song of the album, but it's definitely a really good song.
I like Nero as well. I haven't listened to like all of their albums, but there's a few there that I like. This is all right. It's not.
Doesn't do quite enough for you?
Yeah, it doesn't do quite enough for me.
That's fair. Modern day perspective, it's not as much, like it's not as full of a song as it felt back in the day, but it's still, maybe the nostalgia's carrying it, but it's still a really good song to me.
Right, so Porter Robinson is an okay artist. He's like
Cutting him to shreds.
No, I think he's okay. I like some of his songs, but his like style is that he has really clean synths. It's like someone's taken a wax buffer over my fucking ears, and they sound too clean. The problem with the song, which is why I hate it, is that the drop kind of comes out of nowhere. It's just way too disjointed from where the song was before then and after, and anywhere in between. I feel like this. It's just no. I just can't. I just can't with this one. I really do not like it.
I really do like it. This is where we split and go our separate ways again. I agree that it doesn't fit all that well, but I think that adds to it in that it takes you by surprise. And
I think it's also too loud, like comparatively.
that's
Like,
another
I
part.
feel like it needs to just be like, production-wise, you either bring the other bits up a little bit, or bring the drop down, which probably you wouldn't do. You'd bring the other stuff up a little bit, just so it's kind of.
For me, the first.
So I don't have to adjust my volume slider mid-song, you know.
I can somewhat agree with you. I think that the first 2 minutes of the song are really good. Like the build-up's good. The drop really slaps you in the face because it is louder and a bit abrupt. And if you know the original, it's definitely nothing like the original, so it catches you off guard. But once that finishes and it goes sort of back down, it's like, why are we here? Like it just feels like you fall back into it. I still like the remix. I think it's a good remix. I like Porter Robinson. I think he does good shit. He's not someone I go back to listen to, but when he comes on, I'm like, oh, this is good. Whatever.
Ben's just gonna give a shit for this one. Always give me shit for this one.
So the original? For you?
I'm going for the original. Easily
the
the original. I really do not like this remix at all.
So this one's a hard one for me. The original's a better song. I just have to say the original's a better song.
Okay. So the original it is. Sorry, Benja, I know you're a big Porter Robinson fan, but that's not going to be.
I've got a bit of HSP in my gums.
Definitely still feeling the HSP. So the first thing I got written down about the song is that it's got a very messy kind of instrumentation to it. It feels like it was recorded in like a garage. I'm a big fan of Friendly Fires. They're also an Aussie indie band. This album, despite probably being their most popular, is probably their worst, at least production-wise. A lot of other songs on this album are a bit like this. They're a bit like kind of uneven, garagey. And I do like it still. It seems like a lot of people took these songs and remixed them, not necessarily this one we're about to listen to, and made a lot of their songs better, especially on this album. And
I don't have a lot to say because it's not really my genre, and it's not a band. I don't know who Friendly Fires are. I'm just going to be open.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know them. For me, the percussion in this stood out. I actually really liked that. The chorus was good, but it was kind of like it just.
Yeah. I thought the chorus goes pretty hard in this song, comparatively.
I thought it was good, but it didn't. I like to be caught off guard. I like to be surprised. It just felt like, oh, this is a good chorus. They've done the bare minimum. They've done, and that sounds really bad because I don't know these guys much, and I'm not a music person.
No, I think the lead vocalist gets a lot better as the band has progressed, and this is probably one of his weakest performances.
Yeah.
The Aeroplane remix. Let's go.
Hit it. Yep, that was a lot better for me.
I think that's something that's very interesting about the song is that they replace all the male vocals from the first one and just leave. And I'm not sure if they had to re-record or they just already had the female vocals during, what do you call it, a stem or something? Stem. Yeah, she must have recorded lines for the original song and then they just had them left over. I don't know how it came about, but yeah, the overall feel of the song is much better, and the male vocals swapping the backing and the front vocals is an interesting choice, and it works. I feel like
I was like, it's a bit the same, and then the keys start, and I'm like, oh, this is good. This just tickles that little bit inside me that it needs to tickle, and I'm like, yep, this is good, and then it just got better and better, and I much prefer this version.
Once again, 7.5 minutes, bit long,
yeah,
but it is pretty easy listening, and I've had it on my playlist for ages, to be honest, and that doesn't really bother me too much. It just goes by.
Yeah.
Not something I think I could just sit there and listen to just by itself, but if I was doing anything else, it's a very good song.
Yeah.
And begrudgingly, I had to go with the remix.
They didn't need to nearly double the length of the song.
That's a bit much.
It could have progressed a little bit quicker and maybe got into some of those elements a bit faster and just been a bit shorter, but... they were obviously grooving and in the mood, and
That's what they came out with, and it's good.
it's good. Yeah, definitely. I think it's better than the original. So,
Yeah. Alrighty.
well done, Aeroplane.
That's a person riding a horse. The fuck? I forget where in. Where?
Oh, don't tell them where I live.
Yeah. There's only like 10 houses here. They'll find you.
Fuck.
It is done. Yes, we've got Electric Feel by MGMT. It's not management, is it? Have you heard this song a million times like I have? What can you say? Even in my notes it says I can't say anything that hasn't been said before. It's just a classic.
Huge song. Everyone loves this song, but
Can you say something bad about this song? Because I can't.
I can't say anything bad about it. No.
Okay.
It's a good length, progresses well. All the sounds are really cool and interesting. The vocals just fit really well for me in this one. It's just a very nice cohesive package, and that's why it's popular.
That's why it's one of the best.
What
All
can
right.
Justice do about it?
Feels like it's a good workout song. I really like this remix as well, and it feels like it's as good of a remix of Electric Feel as you could get. Because I don't think you could ever beat the original, but I feel like this Justice does it justice. Like like I said, if I was to be running on the treadmill or going to the gym or something, like this is the version of the song I would listen to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But in every other aspect, I would listen to the original.
Yeah.
I don't have much to say about this one that's bad either. I really love the outro of the song as well. It's very synth heavy. Yeah, I really like this too, but I just don't think it can measure.
No. I like it, and I like what they added, but I don't think they added enough. I don't think they did enough to differentiate it from the original.
Yep.
I don't know. It's just, if I was going to have one on the list, it would be the original. I don't think this does enough to pull me in and make me swap.
That's fair enough. I just don't think you can compare with this one.
No. Sorry, Justice.
Sorry, Justice. I really like Justice. They're fucking sweet. Next up, we have The Change, DMAs by What So Not.
I'm keen to hear your thoughts on this song overall.
I am too when I find my thoughts. Alright. I think it's really decent. I like it. I feel like it just kind of falls apart by the end.
Yeah.
But I still do like the overall package. I think it's a very well made song.
What So Not, I follow What So Not since he was with Flume. Flume used to be part of What So Not. He announced that he was doing a collab with DMAs. I was like, what the fuck? I did not. My brain couldn't fathom what would come out of that. DMAs are huge, at least in Australia. And I was just like, what is that going to be? And this came out and I was like, holy shit, this is really fucking good. I wasn't there in the room with them, but it feels like he had the reins of the structure and they came in with the vocals and just tweaked it.
It does feel like more of a What's So Not than DMA's song.
Yeah. And I think they knocked it out of the park, really. This is one of those ones that's on a few playlists of mine. I hear it all the fucking time. I really, really like it. It hasn't got old for me yet, which is rare.
Okay, well, let's see what the Just a Gent remix has going. I have one note written down, and it's just shed music. This is definitely on a multiple, if not all of your shed music playlists, I imagine.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It's just not my thing.
It's just not your thing.
It's just not my thing. I appreciate the production. I love the build up to the drop. It's really nice. It's just not my thing.
Again, this is one where I thought the original's so good. How can anything they do is just going to ruin it? And they didn't. Just a Gent. Not just a Gent. Bit of a legend, apparently.
Yeah.
He just got his hands in there and did his little thing, and
it's pretty good.
This is my type of music. This is what I'm into, and I think he did a really, really, really fucking good job of this.
Is it better than the original?
It is.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the original on this one. I just can't bring myself to.
This was one of those ones I had to go back to back to back and listen.
Yeah. So it was a hard choice then for you.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't clean cut, but I think this one just fit into my wheelhouse better than the original. That's because, sadly, there's less DMAs in this. It's more electro, dense, and a bit less focused on the vocals. And the original's great, and a lot of people would prefer that. For me, this is just a little bit more dark and weird and
dark
the shit I'm into.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we're gonna have to refer to the poll.
To the polls.
There it is.
There it is.
We are 83% on the original and 16 on the remix. That sucks.
Look, that's fair enough.
Next up, we have Fancy Footwork by Chromeo. You go, because I'm not going to be impartial here.
It's just right up your alley.
It is. I love Chromeo.
Yeah,
they're fantastic.
It's a really good song. I really like the vocals in this. I think they fit really well.
Yeah.
Just the synthy, everything.
Funk.
Yeah, the funkiness of it. Really good song.
Yeah, this is probably one of my favorite Chromeo songs. Probably Jealous beats it out. This is also very good. It's because a lot of Chromeo songs, because they're a duo, the other guy uses a talk box, which is like synthesized. Yeah, synthesized vocals, and he tends to overuse it a lot. I feel like in a lot of their songs, and it is kind of like a staple, I guess. But this is one of the ones that doesn't use it, and it's all the better for it. I feel like, because I get a bit sick of it sometimes, even though I love Chromeo. So I picked this remix because I knew you wouldn't have heard of any of these songs before. And I picked the remix that probably had the best shot of coming up against the original, at least in your eyes.
Yeah.
And it's no secret that I'm going to be going with the original on this one. But
I think you know me at least a little bit in my taste in music.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, the offbeat nature of that, just the mix up really fits for me. Adds another element which I think makes it better overall compared to the original. I think the original is a really good package, but this just tricks you and surprises you.
Yeah, I think this could easily be shortened, like many remixes could have been shortened. The one thing I say, this one has, it's got a lot of energy, and it has a better use for the sirens in the beginning of the song than the original does, which uses them and then never references again, where this one continues to incorporate it throughout the song, which is cool. But other than that, I don't think it compares to the original, at least to me, but I am a huge Chromeo fan.
That's fair. I'm going to go with the remix.
I figured. So let's see what the community had to say. And they are, with me, 75% to 25%.
I've lost every single tiebreaker this whole time.
It's rough. I thought it was going to go the other way. I feel like our friends and community have a bit more of a EDM kind of, what do you call it, taste in music.
Yeah.
And not a good taste. But hey, maybe they're proving me wrong. Alright, next up we have Pogo by Digitalism versus the Shinichi Osawa extended remix. Your thoughts?
I'm going to be honest. Looking at the title and artist of this song, I had no idea what it was. As soon as I clicked play, within half a millisecond, I knew this song.
Yeah.
So it's a very popular
It's
song.
one of those songs that you hear on like the Triple J Hottest 100, and it's like placed somewhere between 50 and 75. You hear it one year and you're like, oh, that was cool, and then you never hear it again. And that's what this song is, I feel like. It does a good job of keeping like its momentum throughout the song, even if it's a bit repetitive.
I think it's a good song. I don't have heaps of thoughts on it because it's so close to being down my alley, but it's just not quite there. Yeah, interested to see what the remix is like.
Do you know what video had this specific remix in? Might be too traumatizing.
Oh, I have no idea.
Do you remember Zune Paint?
Oh, fuck. Yeah. God damn it.
So that's where I first heard that remix.
I'm going to hold on to that.
Despite that traumatic memory, this is a really good remix. Where I feel like the original is a very like one-note song. This one has a bit more progression and a bit more structure to it. It's like it follows the similar conventions to a regular song. There's like low points, there's high points, and that guitar bridge is really, really cool. Yeah, I really, really like this remix.
Yeah, I think the remix adds that little bit of what was maybe missing. I don't know if it needed to go for quite that long again.
Yeah, it's 6 minutes long. That's probably the only hitch there.
Yeah, I think I'd much prefer listen to the remix than the original. I think it just has that little bit more.
As long as it doesn't bring up those traumatic memories.
Yeah, well, I had forgotten and probably blocked those memories out, and you just brought them back.
I'm sorry.
I need a moment.
So next up, we have Breathe by the Prty.
You heard of this one before?
You know what? I might have heard it once or twice.
Yeah.
Everyone knows. Like, what are they? The Prty are just absolute pioneers, and Fat of the Lamb is a great album.
It's probably the album. Well, it is the album that put them on the map, right?
Yeah. I Breathe, Smack My Bitch Up.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like they took the like grunge from like the Nirvana scene of like grunge rock and then added like electronic or techno to it, and
just I don't know. I don't know what else fits. What else that came out at this time that sounds like this?
Nothing, and nothing really stands the test of time like these like Breathe that does either. Like honestly, like you think back to like electronic music or like, you know, dance from this kind of era, and nothing ages well. The production in the songs always feel really like kind of dated, and this just doesn't. They do such a good job, man. It's unreal.
It is unreal.
So let's see what the Glitch Mob have in store for us. Oh, it's so good.
It is.
It's I have similar feelings to this as I do to the Justice remix of Electric Feel. It's as good of a remake as it could be.
Yeah.
Like, that's as good as you can get, and I wouldn't blame anyone for taking the remix over the original here, I don't think, but it makes the chorus go a lot harder, like the bass hits, and it hits well without like overpowering anything else.
Yeah.
But it might just be a little bit too derivative. Like, I feel like you're getting the same thing out of both of them, really.
Yeah, you could argue that. What blows my mind is Glitch Mob were not well known at this point. The Prty was huge.
Yeah.
The fact that the Glitch Mob took this song, did what they did with it, and made it onto the expanded edition of the album. So this got released with the album on the vinyls, everything. That blows my mind. It feels really, really, really wrong to vote for this over the original.
Yeah.
But if I had to listen to one of these for the rest of my life, it's going to be the Glitch Mob remix.
I have to go the original. I think it's just the history is there for me with the original. I just love it so much. But like I said, I don't begrudge anyone for picking the remix here because it is, it's so good. I'm
always biased. I have a Glitch Mob tattoo. They're one of my favorite bands of all time.
I've been listening to the Prty since I was like 5, so
yeah.
And Glitch Mob, I like them too, but like,
Prty is the Prty.
The Prty is the Prty for me, and I can't put biases aside there, even though I really like it.
I'm glad we disagreed on this one because I want to know how the community voted.
Well, let's see how they went.
Oh, it was such a hard choice, and I feel like I'm still making the wrong decision. Like, I just don't know, but let's let the community decide. So
we are 66.6% on the original, and 33% on the remix, which means they're starting with me again somehow.
Yeah, fuck. What a song.
Those are 2 bangers.
Absolutely. 2 bangers, yeah. And if I was listening to one version, I'm not thinking, I wish I was listening to the other version.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm happy. They're both fucking awesome.
Yeah, I agree. Next up we have I'm Not Gonna Teach Your Boyfriend How to Dance With You. versus the 12 remix.
Coming in completely blind to this one, I like it. Definitely gives me festival vibes again. Definitely a sing-along song. Like the vocals are very clear, cut, and just catchy.
Yeah, they're like pop sing-along. Yeah, no, I get it. I like the song, kind of. It's got a very strange sounding production, and this isn't my favorite song from this band, which is Black Kids. It's really weird because we'll see with the remix of this song. The remix of this song fits more with another song that I like of theirs, but it's from the same album, and the production sounds a lot different. And that's Hurricane Jane. Yeah, Hurricane Jane sounds a lot like the remix we're about to listen to, which is weird. It's
You're
really
losing
weird.
people here. This is like the plot of Inception.
Yeah, it is. I don't understand. Yeah, let's listen to the remix. See, it's funny that you say that like it was a sing-along song, and this one feels like you could sing along easier to it.
Yeah.
The energy is a bit lower on this one than compared to the original, but I feel like the chorus hits a lot harder because of it.
Neither of these are really
Like your style.
not my style of music, but this one definitely is closer to my style of music.
Yeah.
I like the sounds in it. I like what they've added. I like that it's a bit more techy, a bit more electronic than the original, which is a lot more indie rocky. Yeah, for me, the remix is just that little bit above, but realistically, this isn't really my.
Yeah, it's not your kind of thing. Yeah, look, I look both of these songs. I think the remix is better, and for parody, bring up the album and put on Hurricane Jane, which sounds a lot more like the remix, or it does use more instrumental stuff.
Yeah, this sounds.
I'm not going crazy. Like, it's so weird.
Okay, so...
And this is probably my favorite song of theirs.
So in this case, then, this guy, the
The
12s. The 12s have listened to Hurricane Jane and thought, this could also sound like that if it was...
Yeah.
If we did this with it.
That might be how they approach
Sounds
it.
like
And
what
that's probably why I like it more.
It sounds like they've listened to both songs and gone, that could do that. That would be good. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to put this into this.
Yeah. Give me these. Yeah.
Next up, we have "Hold Your Color" by Pendulum, and this is one of your songs.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're thinking. To be honest, let's just go into it. So, should we explain our history of Pendulum, because it's like kind of our like mid-teens kind of music, and honestly, I've been listening to them since and never stopped. "Hold Your Color" is not the best album that Pendulum have brought out. Immersion is definitely Pendulum's best album. This is good. It's got its high points and its low points. "Hold Your Color," I really like it. It's a very good Pendulum song. Very classic. Doesn't do anything special though, I feel like.
No.
But it is still fantastic.
Pendulum.
As far as Pendulum goes, like their songs, it would be like in the middle, like race.
Absolutely, yeah. Pendulum's a band that I'm a big fan of, and it's probably where mine and Marx's music tastes cross over quite well.
Yeah. We've both seen them live, but both had very different experiences when we saw them live. So for context, they were in Melbourne, and then they were in Sydney for their next show. I just happened to be in Melbourne. Well, I went to Melbourne for this, and you just happened to be in Sydney at the time when they were coming, so you just booked tickets anyway. Because you went to Melbourne, then to New South Wales, and you were thinking of staying a couple extra nights in Melbourne to catch them there, but then you realised you were going to be in Sydney anyway.
Okay, you might know my memory better.
I know your memory better than you are. But between those two shows, the lead singer, Rob Swire, got a chest infection, and then he wasn't able to sing at the next fucking show, which sucks because Pendulum are undoubtedly the best band I've seen live, and it's probably not feeling the same for you because I feel like the vibe would have been very different at yours.
No, this was one of the most disappointing live gigs I've ever seen. The venue was, it was average. It was carpeted for some reason, and the floor was so fucking sticky you could not move. It was hot and sweaty, but not in a good way. And it just fell apart without him being there to hype the crowd up.
So he wasn't there at all, was he?
I can't remember exactly.
He's the dude with a little goatee.
I just drunk myself into a stupor because I was that disappointed.
He would just stand in the back until like his point, like, you know, like the songs he sings in came out, and then he'd come to the front and do his thing. And the guitarist was the hype man for the whole thing. Yeah,
just didn't hit right. They played the vocals digitally. You could tell it was recorded. It just didn't feel right. The audio in the whole room was crap. Overall, really disappointing for a band that means so much to me. So, yeah, that was our polar opposite. And that was within probably 4 days of each other seeing the band, so that sucks.
So do we want to take a look at the Noir remix?
Let's do it. I already know where you're going with
this. Did you read my notes, or you just already know?
No, I just know you.
Yeah. Please stop it. I can't fucking stand it. I have one note, and it is shed music, but I absolutely hate it. So this was made for the Reworks album, which came out probably as Pendulum were touring when we saw them. And it's filled with a bunch of remixes and remakes of their songs. And this is just fucking terrible. I can't even.
Again, I'm a pretty big Noir fan. More of his recent stuff than his older stuff. I like what he did with this. I think he added a whole nother level of hype to it. There's another one of those songs that brings back memories of a specific time in my life, and for that reason it probably carries a bit harder. I can see exactly why you hate it.
Yeah.
It's incredibly obnoxious.
Yeah, and that's it. I think it's too much of a departure from the original. Like, it starts off alright, and I'm liking it. But when the is it dubstep? What would you call it? Just
big, fat, filthy, obnoxious bass.
It kills it for me straight up. I don't see much redeeming qualities out of this. And as soon as that bass hits, it's too obnoxious.
The raver in me just cannot not move to this song. I just think the amount of energy he managed to pack into this is crazy to me, especially considering the original was already a pretty high energy song. In saying that, it's not as good as the original.
Really? I thought you put this in there because you thought.
No, I don't think this is as good as the original. If I had to listen to one song for the rest of my life, it would definitely not be this version. But if I want to bring the mood up and I want to get people dancing, this is the one I'm putting on.
If you were trying to bring the mood up,
yes,
and you put this on, I'm leaving.
Yeah,
I'm gone. I feel like you could plug in sample any other song, and it would still be the same to me. With this, it just hurts a bit more because it is Pendulum. All right, next up we have "Cold Dust Girl" by Hey Champ.
Oh lordy.
And that's the whole song.
You're not wrong.
Look, it's actually a really catchy tune. Once again, it's like a bit of a sing-along song. Not enough progression in the song, and the lyrics are the same 5 lines, I'm guessing. There's one verse and one chorus, and that's it. And it doesn't justify the 4-minute length that it goes through.
This is another one I hadn't heard before. I thought, this is pretty good. It started off alright. And then it just kept doing the same thing for 5 minutes, and I was over it. Just did not go anywhere for me.
Yeah.
Did not get to a peak that would hold my interest.
Yeah. Like, this is another Pandora core song. This is a song I hear all the time, Pandora. Good in the background, but I wouldn't sit there and listen to it because it would drive me insane. Yeah, so do you want to listen to the Gemini Club remix?
Hell yeah. You mean the 8-minute and 8-second Gemini Club remix?
Yeah.
That's for context, the original song was 4.5 minutes and it was too long.
So already I feel like there's a little bit more energy in the song. There's a lot more progression in the remix. Once again, it doesn't really justify its length.
No.
But, and you wouldn't have heard that in the sample that we shown then, at some point in the song, it just decides to just go off the rails. It just keeps going, and then you think it's, oh, we've reached the peak, and then it just keeps going again in a different direction, and it's just, it's kind of admirable in, like, the insanity of this. It is.
That's a sentence that has never been spoken.
Like, I admire the balls just to fucking go with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you want to play a sample? Just
Let's... Where are we?
Yeah. And then it keeps going. It's just, you just think it's over, and then it just keeps going. And I don't know, man. Like this, I don't understand. I feel like Gemini Club heard the original song, and they were like, wow, these are some cool synths. These are some cool chords. Why aren't you doing anything with this? And this is just like a biggest fuck you ever. It's like, this is all the stuff. This is where every single thing that you could have, like, everywhere you could have taken this song.
Yeah.
But you didn't do it. So I'm going to do it all. Yeah. And then they spanned like the AI girl voices saying Gemini Club all throughout the song. And it just feels like, I don't know. I feel like it was made out of spite. It is just absolutely insane. I implore anyone who's watching this video to listen to this song. It is just a fucking
if you can
ride.
make it through.
It starts off with like an energetic like workout song, and then about 5 minutes into the song, you're running down the highway into oncoming traffic, and you want to punch cars. Like that's how hype you will get.
Listening to that clip of it, it's like, this is really good. This is so much faster, so much more energy. And then you remember that you've just skipped to 5 minutes into this fucking song. The original goes for 4.5 minutes.
Yeah.
At 5 minutes, he's like, step it up. Let's go. More. Yes. And I just... Fuck.
And like I said, it doesn't justify its length, but it's also just absolutely batshit insane. And
yeah,
I feel like I've got to go the remix because it is just so insane, and I love how insane it is.
The original I would probably never listen to. Even in the background, it would probably annoy me. This remix, cool. I like it.
You probably wouldn't listen to it.
Yeah, I would not. If it was in the background, I'd listen to it. I would not sit there for 8 minutes and actively listen to this song. Because my heart rate would reach 400 by the end of it. If he'd done what he did and maybe picked the best version of it and made it
the
4
intro
minutes,
to the song is probably a bit too long, so that you can shave that down to about 7, and you could probably, I feel like you could shave it down to 6 at least.
Absolutely, and still get all of the substance and the hype.
Yeah.
But in saying that, the original was so fucking bland. I have to go with the remix.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm with you there. All right, next up we have a three-for. So we have a...
That's a triangle.
No, I got that, but why? Obviously, we have one original and 2 remixes. We have White Lies with Death versus the Chase and Status versus the Chase and Status remix versus the Crystal Castles remix. So we'll pick our favorite, then second, then third on this one.
You say Chase and Status. I say Chase and Status. Interesting. All
See,
right.
I feel like it's meant to be Chase and Status, so it kind of rhymes.
It does rhyme more that way. I'm probably wrong.
Yes, this fear's got a hold on me.
Death is mostly like up until that point, and like it is mostly all build up. The entire song is all build up to that moment, and I think it really delivers on it. I don't really have much bad to say about this. I do like this album from White Lies. It's a bit morbid. The song's called Death, but the entire album is really about death. Yeah, it's all mostly build up, and it's all about that delivery right there. I really like it. I don't have much bad to say about it. I think that like kind of drum breakdown is probably a bit unnecessary. They should just carry that momentum and then finish the song. Shave down maybe 30 seconds, but apart from that, I can't really fault this one.
Good song. Again, that indie rock style it's not really my thing, but I can respect the vocals sound really clean. I like the vocals in this. The instruments, take them or leave them for me. It's not my style, but I'm really interested to see what Chase and Status can do with this.
It's one of the very few like full-on dubstep remixes I really like. And well, it's probably more drum and bass.
Yeah, I was gonna say
It is. It's a bit in there. I enjoyed it mostly because it doesn't abandon the vocals, and I like the little reverb that they put it on it. It makes it kind of sound a bit spacey, I guess.
Yeah,
It's kind of what I imagine, like sci-fi kind of feel to it. It is cool as hell.
Chase and Status are another one of those sort of electronic artists that I've listened to since I was very young. Do like a lot of their stuff. Don't listen to them as much anymore, but I think they really, really did a good thing with this song.
With you there. Let's go to Crystal Castles and see what they can bring up.
Yeah, I've had enough.
It's fucking bad, isn't it?
It's bad.
I fucking hate this so much. I think this is a good, like, comparison of what could make a good remix and what makes a really bad remix.
Yeah.
And it is just the complete departure. It feels like it's going somewhere different at the beginning. I was like, oh, I like the really, like, reverb, like, background kind of way that they did the vocals, and they've, you know, added a little the synth from the original song in there. And then it just takes a left turn off a cliff. It's just bad. It's just straight bad. I'm not a fan of Crystal Castles, but even then, I can understand why some people like their music. I don't understand how anyone would like this.
I don't know Crystal Castles. It just feels like they took everything that worked in the original and threw it in the bin. The original really worked for what it was, and the Chase and Status remix really just evolved and become its own thing and really worked as well. This feels like they've gone, oh, that sounds really good, I bet I could do something with that, and then they've just fucked it. They've just ruined it. They've just taken out the back and hit it with a fucking spade.
So, Crystal Castles, third place, easy.
Yeah.
Then the Power Gap, and I'm going to say the original as second.
Not for me. Chase and Status remix, but that's just because that's my style of music and I'm a big Chase and Status fan.
What?
Wait, oh shit, no, sorry. You're going third, second, first.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So, yeah, no, second place is the original. Yeah,
Yes, so...
First is Chase and Status remix.
Yeah, okay, good. We agree on that.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's just like, yeah, it's just Crystal Castle just dropped the ball on this one, and I don't know why they released this.
I'm glad you put this in here because... I'm not sure why they released this, that's fucking harsh. I'm glad you put this in here because it does show that you can have a really, really good remix of a song that adds to it and changes it and evolves it, and then you can have...
something that just takes it all away, and then just whatever the fuck that was. I don't know what.
Leaves me sad.
It leaves me really sad. Next up we have... Where did I put it? I swear I laid it out.
It's right there.
Alright, next up we have 19-2000 by the Gorillaz versus the Soulchild remix.
Here you go, get the cool, get the cool shine.
Looks like you're actually vibing to that one too, like a bit.
Yeah. I know you're a huge Gorillaz fan.
Yeah, I don't like this song.
Ah,
At all.
interesting.
The popularity of this song baffles me too. Like, I don't understand it. I get it's a bit weird, and that was kind of their vibe in their first album, but I just don't get it.
I think that's what I like about it.
Really, I don't understand. And I am a huge Gorillaz fan, and I like 90% of their music, but this is not anywhere close.
Hearing that, I thought, why does Marcus like this? It didn't feel like it fit for you, and I can understand why you might not like it. I think it feels very Gorillaz. It feels like Gorillaz at their core is just weird, wacky, that cartoony style.
Yeah, I kind of get that, but I don't know. I feel like the melody just kind of isn't there. The sound effects, like the bubbles and stuff in there, are just it's a bit loud. I don't like it. I just don't like anything that's really going on. The song is just too slow.
It is probably a little bit slow, but it's kind of a very flowy. Yeah.
Like, I don't get its popularity. Like, it is one, like, if you look at how many streams there are on Spotify, it is huge. It's like 192 million or something like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought it was a popular song by them. I think that's why I like it, because it's a bit weird. The fact that many people like it and listen to it surprises me.
Yeah. Same here.
Get the cool. Get the cool to shine. Get the
So you like this then?
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Of course. It feels like a more modern Gorillaz song to me, to be honest.
It really does. It feels like
It feels more Gorillaz than the last one. But
Yeah.
obviously it's from their first album, so it was a little bit darker and weirder. So what do you think? Yeah.
it definitely feels like something more Gorillaz of the current age. Like, yeah, it surprised me how much Gorillaz it felt.
Mm.
I kind of thought it would be different, but it just sounds like if they remade the song today.
Yeah.
Which I can see why you would like that.
But do you like that? Think about
No,
it.
not as much. It was good.
Yeah.
It wasn't as weird. It didn't
Yeah.
surprise me. It didn't make me ask questions. It just kind of like, this is the Gorillaz.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't the Gorillaz.
No, it wasn't. And yeah, that's the thing. I really like what they did with the original. Like, well, I don't like the original, but I like what they took from the original and made it into a remix. And honestly, I think it's like one of the most perfect like instances of what you should do with a remix.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they scaled up the tempo. They added some, energy to it.
Yeah.
They recontextualized the chorus, and it's why I like it so much. And it feels like an all-round cleaner and better produced song to me.
It definitely feels cleaner. It feels more complete. But I think that also takes away some of the weirdness and the uniqueness of the original. Yeah, I think we need to go to the vote.
We need to go to the polls on this one. Let's see. It is 100% to 0% for the remix.
Yeah,
And
I saw that coming.
All right. Well, next up we have Inner Bloom by Rufus Du Sol versus the What's So Not remix, who we've already heard from as a primary artist, haven't we?
We have not
Okay.
heard any of his remixes.
If you want me, if you need me.
Inner Bloom. so long. I want to know why this song is so popular. I like that it's a very popular song. I don't know why. And is it because it's a really good song to listen to when they play it live, or something?
For me, okay, so first disclaimer, I'm a big Rufus fan, but
Yeah.
this was the first Rufus song I ever heard.
Really?
That I
I think mine was Sun Dream.
At least that I can remember, this was the one where I was like, holy shit, what was that? Who
Yeah.
was that? I want to hear that again.
And this song is mostly would you even call it? It's an experience.
It is. It's a adventure. It's a journey. For me, this one has very specific nostalgic core memory for me. I was driving home with my dad when I was on my L plates, so he had to be in the car with me, and I would always put Triple J on, and he hated Triple J because it was all the new school music, and he's an old guy and he doesn't understand. This song came on, and I turned it up, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is crazy! This is so great!" And we pulled up, and we both sat in the car together and left it running so we could hear the rest of it. And it finished, and Dad was like, "That's the first good song I've ever heard on this radio station."
Wow, I can't believe your dad likes this.
Yeah,
That's kind of that's a pretty big shock. It gives me hope that this is a very popular song. Everyone's tastes aren't actually that garbage. I love this song. I don't have the same nostalgic feeling that you do, but I still like it. I don't listen to it very often because how could you really?
absolutely. It's a song. Personally, there's no one's putting this on for no reason. I think you're smoking a fat joint. You're you're having a couple of bevies, you're chilling back in your armchair, and you're just going on a journey.
Yeah.
This is one of those songs where it's an experience from
It's
start to finish.
it's hard to describe. It's good to listen to, and what can you say, really?
I
So-
don't have the intelligence to even
You-
start pulling this song
yeah.
apart. It's just, I don't know. To me, it's one of my favorite songs of all time.
I think a lot of people would compare this song to Let It Happen by Tame Impala, but I actually hate that song so much. This one, I feel like I can vibe to, whereas, the other one I wouldn't. Let's see if What's So Not can hold a candle to the experience of Inner Bloom. Florence is very hard because he actually does hold a candle to. So let's start with this song is probably easier to listen to because it's half the runtime. The problem is that Inner Bloom is an experience and this is a song, really. That's why I find it. But it does keep the soul of the original song in there, which is what I really like about it. But I can't choose because I don't know how to choose between these two.
Yeah, this one is incredibly difficult for me. Well, actually, it's not. I already have my answer.
You're
But
going to Bridge, I reckon.
I'm going to show you all the bits and pieces in my head.
Yeah.
What's So Not? The dude just can't do wrong for me. We gel really well. Like everything he makes, I'm into. You were right on the money when you said he took the soul of it, but made it something different. And he added a lot more energy to it. And realistically, this is the song that is on my playlists.
Yeah.
This is the one that I listen to. I don't listen to the original. However, I still think the original is a far better song overall. And if I could only listen to one, it would be the original.
You take the original over. Yeah, I'll let you decide because obviously the song means a lot more to you than it does to me. But yeah, I think you're on the money. I think it's, one song is easy to listen to and you would listen to it more, but the other one is just so good, but you just can't put it into words.
Yeah, it's so difficult, but for me, the original just has that core memory. It has that adventure that it takes you on. It really just grabs you and runs with you, whereas this is more of just a party tune, which still has a lot of good elements in it, and it's still a really, really good song, but it does not take you the same places that the original does.
And that's fair enough. Alrighty, let's get out of this dump. What would you call it? Emotions that we put ourselves in.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Lisztomania by Phoenix. I think Phoenix is the band that a lot of people would expect me to really like. But I don't.
Oh, that hurts.
I like 1901. That's probably my favourite song from them. But
Everyone likes 1901.
But I don't like Lisztomania that much. I think it's okay. If it came on a Spotify radio, I wouldn't skip it, but I don't actively want to listen to this song. I just don't have any love for it at all.
It just brings a mood and energy that I think we need sometimes, which is that, like, for me, it's like summer road trip vibe. Just singing along in the car, windows down, just having a fucking good time. It's 30 degrees out, you're sweating your ass off, but you feel good.
Like, if I were to pick a song that, like, captures the tone and, like, the overall style of, like, the late noughties kind of indie rock scene, I'd pick this song because it perfectly encapsulates it. Like, a lot of songs sounded like this. Phoenix were probably the ones to do it, like, I wouldn't say they did it the best, but they did it, like, consistently, and they got the popularity, so people thought they did it the best. That's fine. I think this is a good song. It's not it should be my cup of tea, but isn't for some reason, and I cannot explain why.
I haven't heard this remix, so I'm keen to see what they do.
It's very stripped back compared to the original. It just takes the lyrics and takes everything else out of it and just puts it into just a kind of chill, I don't know, what would you call it? Like...
I don't even know what to call it. It's like a little electro-y, poppy... Yeah.
It's a hard choice for me overall, I think, for this one. Because I like the energy of the original, but I kind of find the classics version easier to listen to. It doesn't go anywhere too crazy with it, and that's probably the point. That being said, it doesn't really excite me that much.
Yeah, I don't think this one makes me feel as good as the original. I think the original really hypes me up, makes me happy and excited and think of summer. This one just kind of goes, yeah, it's chill. I'd have it on the background. I would
listen to it on the train or something like.
It's not going to significantly alter my mood if it comes on, whereas the original does that. So
fair enough. I'm on the fence on this one as well. I don't know which way I could go.
I'm gonna go original. Let's have a look at the polls and see what everyone else thinks.
80%. to 20%. Look, I'm happy to go that way with the original. That's fine.
That's
It's
the first tiebreaker I've won. Yes.
Is it really a tiebreaker if I was sitting on the fence?
Yes. Let me have this. I need this.
All right. Well, the original wins it out, and I think a lot of people will be happy on that one. All right. Next up, we have the ultimate Pandora Core song. It is Lights by Ellie Goulding.
Pandora Core is not going to catch on.
Show the lights that stop me. Turn to
Yep. We know it. Everyone knows it.
I'm sick of this fucking song. I'm really fucking sick of it. I liked it at a point, and I can't really stand it anymore. It's really hard to kind of judge it on its merits because I've heard it 1,000 times, and I'm just... That chorus is just burned into my mind. It's probably the last thing I'll hear before I die.
Agreed.
It's just like, oh my god. Speaking of Pandora, like on her old like artist bio thing, this is a weird core memory for me. It's like I was reading her bio and it was something along the lines of like, Ellie Goulding isn't like other solo artists that just come in and like record her lines and then leaves. And it's just like, what a weird thing to say, because it just kind of makes you think that she is that kind of artist. It's like, hi, nice to meet you, I'm Marcus. I don't kick dogs. And what's the first thing that's going to come to your mind? Like, why did you have to say that? Yeah, why did he have to say that he doesn't kick dogs? She might be heavily, like, involved with the producing of her music. I don't really care.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's fine. The song is really good, but I hate it now because I've heard it so many times.
I really like this song. I haven't necessarily killed it as much for myself as you probably have. I think this is another one of those songs that suffered from its success.
Yeah.
Like, it was the song that everyone put on. It was on every playlist. It was at every party. And because of that, no one wants to hear it anymore. Maybe a little bit bland, but I guess it had that mainstream appeal of it just wanted to please everybody. Let's see what Bass Nectar wanted to do to it.
It's fine. It's the same problem with the original, as it's just the lyrics are just burned into my brain and I can't fucking stand it anymore.
I'm a big fan of Bass Nectar's music. I'm not a big fan of Bass Nectar. Anyone that knows who he is will understand why.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's for the best.
Okay, I'm not going to Google that when I go home.
This is just a good remix of a very popular song. It doesn't do anything really super well. It doesn't do anything bad. It just kind of does it.
Yeah. I'm more inclined to take the original, just maybe because there's more history. I kind of like the instrumentation a little bit better, but honestly, it's really hard to judge these songs just because the vocals are very prominent in both, and that's the thing that I'm really, really sick of.
You're just over it, yeah.
I'm very much over it.
I can understand that, and it is samey and repetitive, and realistically, the song maybe carries on a bit. Well, maybe not the first listen, but once you've heard it as many times as we have, it's a bit old. I would prefer the remix in this case. I think it just suits me a little bit better. It doesn't take much away from the original, but it does add a bit for me.
So it sounds like we're not very much fans of either of these songs. Let's see what the community has to say on this one. We'll let them decide for us. And we have 66.6% for the remix, 33.3% for the original.
Wait, so this is
this is your actual first poll win. And look,
the boys, they
good on
really
you. I know. You do.
Yeah, this is one that I added to this list because I was like, oh, Bass Nectar, I want Bass Nectar to be in there. But now that I'm listening to it again, I'm like, it probably didn't need to be in here.
Which brings us to our final song. It is going to be Eyes on Fire versus the Zed's Dead remix. I really love this song.
Yeah.
I love the slow progression. It takes you on a journey.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably like how most people who like listen to Inner Bloom feel. Like this is kind of more of that song for me, even though it's not as long.
Yeah.
The reason I kind of put this one at the end is because it's very similar to Crave You and its remix, and we'll talk about the Zed's Dead remix in a second. But they're kind of very similar songs with very similar remixes, and that's why I've chosen it to like bookend. Bookend. But Eyes on Fire is just a fucking awesome song.
It is a really, really, really good song, and it's sad that I kind of forgot about it because of the remix.
Yeah.
The remix was so prevalent when this sort of came out, for
Yeah.
our age group at least.
Yeah, well, dubstep and
Yeah.
drum and bass were really big when we were up and coming. And, you know,
When we were up and coming,
up-
when we
no.
were growing up.
when we were growing up. And so, like, it's funny because I feel like, you know, the guys would have been listening to the Zed's Dead remix, and then the girls would be listening to Eyes on Fire, the original, because of Twilight. And I'm pretty sure the song was in Twilight. But I'm
I
pretty
didn't
sure
know that.
I'm pretty sure the song is from Twilight.
The instruments just are so crisp. They just hit really, really, really well. Obviously the vocals are iconic. It's so
Yeah.
good.
Do we want to see how the Zed's Dead remix goes against it?
I do. I need to relive it
Yeah.
and remember it.
Yeah, like, this one's pretty good too. A dubstep remix that I kind of like. I think I've given it away there. Like, despite the song being a bit more busy, there's a bit more going on, I really feel the length on this one a lot more than I do on the original. And they're very similar in, like, length, both the songs. It's 15 seconds difference, but I feel, like, when I listen to this one, I feel it more, and whereas Eyes on Fire, I don't.
I agree with you there. I think the original progresses
Yeah.
I don't know, it's hard to, just the structure of it just makes more sense for the time it was given. This one is a bit repetitive. It's a really, really, really good remix, and for its time, it was groundbreaking.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like at the time, it hasn't aged well. I think that might be the biggest thing, whereas Eyes on Fire has aged like fine wine. It is just
Yeah.
as good as the day it came out.
Yeah.
The production just feels like it was still made today with, and just, it feels so crisp. With the similarities to, like, you know, Crave and the Adventure Club remix. The Adventure Club remix has aged very well, whereas this one hasn't. Whereas I feel like the songs are very similar.
It is very much, and it's again, when this came out, these sounds were weird and wacky and interesting, and no one had really heard something that sounded like this, and now it's like, ew, what is that thing from the early 2000s? I still think this holds up pretty well. I actually kind of disagree. I don't think it has definitely aged, but I don't think it's as bad as, say, Skrillex's remix
Yeah,
at the
no,
time.
they're fucking terrible.
Again, if I could only listen to one version of this song, the original's a better song.
Awesome. Thank you so much, because I feel like our community would have fucked me on this one if it went to the vote. And let's just look.
Let's
Just
have a
look.
look.
It's 100% to 0% for the remix to the original. So fuck you guys. That is awful taste in music. Speaking of the community, throughout the video you've been seeing some of the community votes to help us do a tiebreak. And to convince everyone to do that, I offered up a $50 Steam voucher to anyone who voted. And we're going to be doing a lucky giveaway. We don't have time to do it now, so it'll just appear above us here.
Wow!
Congratulations to
Tom.
I can't believe it was him
I can't believe it was them.
or her
So
or that person.
send me a message on Discord and you will get your Steam voucher. Awesome.
Thanks to everyone that voted. There
Yeah.
was definitely a couple that we couldn't agree on, and we probably would have been fighting for the whole entire length of this video if you
Yeah,
didn't vote. So
we are
thank
going
you.
very much over time here from what we thought we were going to be, or what I thought. So thank you very much for watching the video. If you like this video, please give it a like, subscribe to all the algorithm things, and especially if you want to see us do something like this again. This was really fun. We've got some more ideas. When we have the time, we might do another one if you'd like to see more. We will see you in the next one. Bye.